All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice Show. Another two gamer. Nothing we are not used to at this point. Down to just 8 teams. Is that right? 8 teams. Um, but yeah, I think people have been enjoying these two-game slates. I see some people in the chat, in the YouTube chat, had some success the last couple nights. If you played Showdown, hopefully that went okay for you guys. Um, it was it was fine for me, nothing crazy. Uh, Actually, I think I lost a little bit in Showdown last night, so it was fine. Had some ones that were pretty close, although the two gamers have been more my speed as of late. I haven't been doing a ton of Showdown research, so uh, hopefully we'll get to that before the finals, and there are some big contests. So uh, I just registered just now. I forgot to do that all day. So uh, get in your contests on DK if you are looking to play some tonight. I don't really know what is filled yet or what hasn't. No player shirt today. Yeah, I don't know. I just put this on. Um, just a nice plain T-shirt. Uh, it's good stuff. Should have worn my Bennington shirt, honestly. I don't have a Bennington shirt. I think it's actually Tarasenko. Got my Tarasenko jersey, so maybe I'll toss that on after. But you guys won't get to see me wear that. I will be wearing that from the comfort of my own house. Got second in that same GPP. Good call, Tyler. Nice. Yeah, so this is nice because now we've finally got some new blood, some new matchups to go over. Tonight's going to be a little bit frustrating with the matchups in this game specifically, I think, because we don't know who Boston's going to match. Boston won. So that's the only annoying part, really, for me about this slate. It is pretty self-explanatory, I think. So the Boom said he was a 2v2 swap away from binking. What was this 2v2 swap? Everyone's a 2v2 swap from binking in a two-game slate. Boom. Yeah, let's do it again tonight, is right. I got second on whatever, 2 days ago. Tuesday, that was. So ended up in second by a half of a point, which was pretty frustrating. So been close a bunch of times, but I can't complain about a second place on a two-game slate. It's already really random once you get into the top 15, 20. And then I actually had a few lineups in the top 20. So I was looking good there. And I don't even know. I think it was the Martin Jones win actually buried me behind the one guy. It didn't bury me. I mean, I still won 3K or whatever. But yeah, nothing like a 7K swing for 0.5. What's the payout structure for today? I didn't even look at that. I just put these in now, so I don't. 10K, 4K. Okay, better. It's better. Well, I mean, why not just put like 6K to first or 5K to first and just flatten this out? Like reward the 20th out of almost 5,000 people. I don't know. Yep, Ryan, that's my user right here. Can you guys see this? Let's see. You guys can't see that. Oh no. Let me fix this and then you can see. Can't show the URL for some of these pages, otherwise I would, but oh, you still can't see it. Okay, whatever. That's my username, Tommy Nation 1. Yep. Just like what Ryan said. Ryan H in chat. He's got it down. That is my username. It is a pretty short and dumb story as to how I got that username. But, yep, that's what I did. I didn't think it was ever going to matter, as most people don't, who just make their username on DK and deposit for the first time. But that is my name across all the sites except for maybe Yahoo. I don't think that might not be my name on Yahoo. I'm not sure. If it's not, it's probably just Jake Hari with no spaces. I'm sure I tried to do that on DK and it didn't let me or something back in the day. But yeah, stuck with it. So that is me. Got a big Osmo logo at the top. Of course, company man. Yeah, very, very happy. Carolina won. I'm very pumped about that. I was actually watching that for my softball game yesterday, so was following it, and it just kept going on and on and on. Double OT, and then I was on the bench in the inning, or I wasn't in the field in the inning when they scored, so I got to see it happen. Was watching from my phone. Pretty cool stuff. Carolina did dominate that second overtime, especially. I thought Carolina was the better team for most of that game, outside of the first few minutes. I thought they were the better team the whole series, honestly. I mean, a couple of games got away from them, but very, very, very happy. We get to see more Carolina. We get to play more Carolina 1. The pinch runner, yeah, that's me. Watching hockey while playing softball, yeah, I had to. And I had some showdown lineups I was looking at, so whatever. It's not a super serious league. Justin Williams, man, what a lucky pass. I don't know, it's a good play. Throw it near the net and see what happens, especially in OT. One goal wins it. There's worse things he could have done. Ended up working out for him, so can't really knock him. For today, 2 games. Glad Carolina won. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? All right. I don't think I missed any news today. I think everything is pretty much the same that we've seen the last few days. So these teams have not played since Monday. None of these teams have played, or no, sorry. Boston played Tuesday. Dallas played Monday. I think St. Louis played Saturday. Columbus hasn't played for over a week. So we were kind of talking in chat this morning about what, I don't know, it's hard to quantify. How does this long break affect other teams? And for me, I can't quantify it, so I just go by the samples we have on both of these teams. You can look at the games they played against each other, but that honestly doesn't really do much for me. I know they had one game that was a shootout. It was like 7-6 when these teams were in Columbus, and then another game like a week later that was 2-1 or something, 3-1 or something like that. So you just never really know. You rarely get a big enough sample of the two teams in season to say this team dominates this team or the other way around. So, let's go through these games and just kind of talk strategy. I'm sticking with some 3-2-1s, 3-2-1, and then 3-3. I'm gonna have a bunch of different types of stacks, 6-man stacks. Some correlated goalies, some not. It's hard to not correlate your goalie, honestly, when you have to take 3 different teams. I think I'm going to allow one player against my goalie, and hopefully, for the most part, it's a defenseman. I think that's what I've been trying to do. There's not a ton of great defensive options tonight. Good call on Corrali last game. Yeah, I mean, you didn't expect 7 DK points, but I thought maybe if he could score a goal or get an assist and get you 4 or 5 DK points, you don't really expect 7 from quote unquote fourth liner. I think you could go to Corrali tonight. Yeah, he plays good minutes. He is active when he is playing as well, and there's just no ownership on that guy ever. Dallas, St. Louis play low-scoring under games. I don't think it's going to be that kind of series. I think it could open up a little bit. I think I would agree with Ryan. Dallas St. Louis going to go over 5. Yeah, I mean, I would think it's going to go over 5. Goaltending on both sides has been really good. Bishop's been awesome. Probably the best performance of any of the first round teams, honestly. But Binnington was very good outside of that one game where he just broke down. I want to say game 3, maybe. Jamie Benn hat trick last game, win against Dallas, or I mean against St. Louis. Did he? I don't remember that. I'm locking him. Bjorkstrand? Why? I don't think you need to lock Bjorkstrand, but whatever. Do what you want to do. It's a 2-gamer. Gotta get a little bit weird, I suppose. Don't fade Ben. St. Louis is tough, man. I don't think you need to fade anyone really on these 2-game slates if you're playing a bunch of lineups. Like, if you don't end up on someone, that's fine. And that doesn't even go for just 2-game slates. It goes for everything, every slate. You don't need to say, okay, this guy's going to be 30% owned. I need to fade him. You know, if you want to play 10% or 15% of the 30% owned guy, that's fine. Leave yourself some outs. 5 shots on goal for Bjorkstrand incoming. I mean, even if he does that, if he doesn't get on the score sheet, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. All right, let's go through this. Blue Jackets, Bruins, we have a 2.6 implied total for Columbus, 3 for the Bruins. Sergei Bobrovsky and Tuukka Rask in net here. And the question for me is, which line is Boston 1 going to match? Bergeron, Marchand, and Heinen, those 3 stuck together in Game 7 for basically the duration of the game. So they like to hard match against opposing top lines. The last time, really the only thing I'll take from the games the 2 teams played in the regular season is to see if there was any matching going on. And there was in the last game. I think it was like March 15th or 16th. When these 2 teams played in Boston last, the Bergeron line went up against Dubois, Panarin, and Atkinson. Now, they did have Duchesne at that time, but they did have a pretty stacked top line. Here, it looks like Columbus has really balanced it out, and we saw them do this in the Tampa Bay series basically the whole time. So they're going to stick with this, I would think. I wouldn't expect these lines to get changed up too much unless Columbus all of a sudden finds himself down 3-0 early or 2-0 and they look bad. Then it's Tortorella, so you never really know. I would think they're going to go up against Dubois and Panarin. I honestly do not know, though. And it's not... I mean, it's substantial for me. It's not the end of the world if your line is going up against Boston 1. Plus, it's a 2-game slate. You're looking for raw points. Any team could score a goal, and then if they do any sort of damage, any line could score a goal if they do any sort of damage on the power play. You still could be okay. And then you also look at Toronto 1. They got hard matched against Boston 1 all Game 7 and basically all of the home games, and that's the Tavares line. And they did actually a really, really good job. So, again, against Boston 1, almost all games except for 1, I know they got hammered. But, yeah, it's not the end of the world if you have Dubois, Panarin, and Bjorkstrand going up against Boston 1. Same thing for the Duchesne line. You just like the one that's not going up against them. At least I would. They have not played great defensively, but maybe the Tavares line is just that good. And they are very good at creating quality chances. For me, like I said, I think Boston 1 goes up against Dubois, Panarin, and Bjorkstrand. I have a little bit more of the Duchesne line. It's not a huge margin, but I'm hoping they go up against Krejci, DeBrusk, and Pastrnak, which also isn't a perfect matchup. And if you go up against Corrali, that's also not a good matchup either. And I don't know that the Coyle line is even that great of a matchup with Wagner back. So Boston's just tough all around for me. I think they're probably the most complete team. Just a really sick top line when they put Pastrnak up there. If not, they're all spread around. They've got a really good fourth line that they can put out against good first lines, solid defensive core, and a pretty good goalie. So, you know, they have to be like the favorite to win it all, don't they? I haven't looked at the updated odds, but I'm assuming they're right up there. So anyways, I do have a little bit more of the Duchesne line than the Dubois, Panarin, Bjorkstrand line. If you want to go the other way, I don't think you're wrong for that. I think you can go to the fourth line here with Corrali, Nordstrom, and Acciari. Maybe you don't need to stack the full line, but maybe you take one of those guys if you need some salary relief. Like, let's say you're going, and I had a bunch of these lineups like this the other night. You go Marchand, Bergeron, you could go maybe you want to go Pastrnak like this, and you want to do Carlo. Well, now you're really struggling for salary. You can go with Corrali or, I don't even know, Acciari if you want to take Acciari, or Acciari. Acciari? I think it's Acciari. I can hear Doc Emmerich in my head saying Acciari, so I'm gonna go with Acciari. You could still leave yourself some salary by taking a one-off from the same team you're stacking. I actually really like doing that on 2-game slates. Acciari. Yep, you're right, Captain Jenks. Nice. Army Forever. I said LeBanc, Logan, Carlson, Hurdle, Pavelski, and I won $672 on the night. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's like the nuts lineup. Yeah, LeBanc really carried me, which I mean I was definitely on him pretty heavily, so I felt good about that one. LeBanc's kind of a stud when he's got a little bit of room. So I know he's not the toughest guy in the world, but man, he is he's pretty dangerous. Texier, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I don't have Doc's voice in my head for that one. Alexander Texier. I don't really have a ton of him. Honestly, I don't have a ton of Blue Jackets. So, Pavelski's out tomorrow? Is that confirmed? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He has to have a concussion. Yeah, you have a one-off with the stack. Maybe that doesn't correlate. So, like, if you're playing Boston 1, Corrali doesn't correlate. But on such a concentrated slate, it's really, you can take a one-off from the same team and be okay. Like, if this were a 5-6 game slate, I don't think I would do that. But on a 2-gamer, I'm perfectly fine with that. Texier, you guys say. All right. Anything else in this game? Let me see. Let me check my exposures, jog my memory here a little bit. I made 100 lineups. These are not final, but this will give you and me a pretty good idea of where I'm at for this game. Krug is up there for me. He's actually grading out really, really well. I know Columbus has had a good PK over the last couple months of the regular season, and then against Tampa they did a good job as well. And they don't take a ton of penalties, but I do like Krug and McAvoy with Boston 1 or really without Boston 1. I'd be more likely to play McAvoy as a one-off just because he's more of a floor play and does skate a lot with Boston 1. He'll probably be less owned than Krug as well. So, and he's also cheaper. So that's why I kind of like McAvoy a little bit better as a one-off. I think you can play either one with Marchand, Bergeron. Maybe Krug goes better with Boston 2 now that I'm thinking of it. And I do have a lot of Boston 2 as well. I should mention that. And 3 for that matter. So I really favor Boston in this matchup. Boston 1, I mean, I think arguably the best play on the slate. Maybe not even arguably. Maybe they just are. Bergeron and Marchand especially. I'm leaving Heinen off on some, but that's because I'm going 3-2-1. I have no problem playing Heinen. It's just to get a little bit different. Wonder if it takes a game for the Jackets to get the legs working again. Yeah, that's one of those narrative things. You just can't really quantify those. So, I don't know. I wish I could tell you one way or the other how historically that is fared, but I just think there's too many confounding variables to say one way or the other a layoff after a sweep is good or bad for a team or their opponent or what. So, who knows? On the other side, I really like Seth Jones as a one-off. Similar to McAvoy, I think he's got a lot more upside than Werenski on his own, goal-scoring equity and all that. And then I think you can play Savard. Looking at Harrington, he's a guy I got a little bit of that I don't know. I don't really love him, but it's more just a salary thing, and I can't even click on player cards in Fantasy Cruncher. Unable to support. I don't know what's going on with FC here. Oh, unable to connect to. Oh, let's see. Well, I don't know what's going on with Cruncher right now, but it won't let me see my crunch anymore, so that's fun. Okay. Well, whatever. I did see basically what my exposures were. And it's going to be a lot of Boston 1, some sprinkles of Boston 2, Boston 3. How can you afford Dallas 1 with Boston 1? You can't really. Can you even? I mean, the full stack. I don't know if you could. Yeah, you can. So you just got to plug in Clifton and get Bishop in there. Now you got 3,100. There's our buddy Harrington. All right. You can do that. So it's possible. The defensemen are ugly, but hey, you can do that. I like when they make the soft pricing because people like to spend all their money, and I would on bigger slates or get close to spending all my money, but I'm going to have lineups with 45,000, leaving 5K on the table tonight, which is perfectly fine with me. Is Fantasy Cruncher down for you guys too? Let's see. Let me do a quick search. Oh, it's down. Okay. All right. Well, it's a good time for them to be down and not 2 hours from now when people are trying to put in lineups. So I know they are going through quite a big transition phase, which is good. In fact, we are partners with FC Pro, which is pretty cool. So the new Fantasy Cruncher features you guys are really going to like. If you do have Fantasy Cruncher, if you don't, I would suggest you get that if you're really serious about MME for NHL or MLB. FC Pro, that's right, Ryan. I like the enthusiasm. I'm pretty pumped to use FC Pro. Bishop for me, he's in the running for Vezina, I think. He's got to be right up there. It's a regular season award, so maybe they won't give it to him because Dallas snuck into the playoffs as a wild card. It's probably going to go to Vasi anyways, which I have no problem with. They were very, 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 very good in the regular season. I don't really care about the awards that much. Besides when Taylor Hall won the Hart, I did enjoy that one. All right. This other game, 2.4 implied total for the Stars, 2.7 for the Blues. Ben Bishop going up against Jordan Binnington. Very, very small total. We've seen these in a lot of Dallas games. They have been low scoring. There is a lot of talent, though, on St. Louis. There are 3 lines that are firmly in play for me on the Blues. I like that they have a low total. I I think the Blues are a better team. I think St. Louis won is just as good, if not better, than Dallas won. Their results were not great in the series against the Jets. That's fine. Whether it's Perron or Shen up there. In fact, I like Shen kind of centering Schwartz, anyways. But Perron more than capable of scoring goals with O'Reilly and Tarasenko. So we don't have a big sample on them just yet. I would expect them to have really, 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 really good numbers when we get to that sample at some point. If the Blues do make a little run here, we'll get a bit of a sample. Yeah, St. Louis, I think for me is I think they have as good a chance as anyone. I would tentatively pick them to come out of the West. I think they can beat San Jose. I think they could easily beat the Avalanche. I think I don't know. I think they should beat the Stars here. Bishop might have something to say about that. So it's playoff hockey. You see weird stuff sometimes. But yeah, I think the Blues do win the series. Only 1-2 against the Jets at home is a little bit concerning in the last series, but they did win the one that they needed to win. They're just really, like, all three of these lines I think are really awesome. The Stars top line, we know how good they are. You can play them against pretty much anyone. Their numbers are just nutty. From the last series, they had like 50 minutes, and they would be on pace for like 30 high danger chances and 50, 60 scoring chances per 60. Like, they just played out of their minds. Could they do that again? I think it's possible. I think it's going to be a tough ask doing that against St. Louis 1 and any of these top three lines. So for me, that gives me the edge to St. Louis. I'll be playing a ton of O'Reilly and Tarasenko and Perron tonight. I will also be playing a ton of St. Louis 2 tonight. And then I'm definitely sprinkling in some Bozak Maroon, Robert Thomas. Those guys have really good numbers. In the regular season, they were fine against the Jets. I think if they're going to go up against Faxa, Cogliano, and Como, that line had a really good game in Game 6. Would not expect them to be that good going forward. The regular season sample says otherwise, and I'm really going to attack the Blues heavily. I can't scroll down anymore. I don't. Let me see what I can do here for you. I can't scroll down. Let me see if I can edit this quick to see if I. Can you guys see that now? You can see down to Edmondson. Okay, let me. Maybe. All right, bear with me here. Okay, there we go. I figured it out. Nice. Just took me 2 seconds. All right, you should be able to see the whole screen right now. Is that good? I'm not seeing things right. You guys can see that, I believe. You should be able to see down through done. He is as far as it goes on the bottom. All right. Playoff Ben looks good. I mean, when you're playing next to Sagan and Radulov, you're going to look good offensively. Defensively, they have not been great. I think O'Reilly goes up against them for a lot of the time, and that's why I really, really love O'Reilly, Tarasenko, and Perron. Against the Hintz line, I think the Shen line really has the advantage. For slates like tonight, do you bother with FC or just eyeball it? No, I definitely rely on FC. Yeah, I think don't change anything. If you hand build during 10-game slates, don't just all of a sudden start to fire up FC on a 2-game slate. Do what you do. Stick to stick to your guns, as they say. It's less games. Ownership is more concentrated, but you also know you don't have to guess on who the chalk's going to be. The chalk's going to be Boston 1. The chalk's going to be probably Dallas. I don't know, maybe Dallas 2. Boston 1 with Dallas 2. Boston 1 with St. Louis 2. So, yeah, it doesn't... it's not that concerning, honestly. Okay. Sweet. All right. Tom, if you're watching. Okay, I just got your message. I don't think Tom's watching right now. I think he's probably working on some other stuff. But okay, cool. Sorry, guys. Okay, working on stream. My bad. But when the boss is messaging you, I guess you got it right. You really have to get the goal scorer and assist guys right on these slates. Yeah, it's no different than any other slate, but raw points do rule on these slates. So it's yeah, and like on the bigger slates, I don't know how to explain this. What Alex says, what Osmo, the larger the slate, the more you stack. The smaller the slate, the less you stack. So that doesn't mean just take one-offs. That doesn't mean just go like this. Like don't play completely uncorrelated plays all over your lineup. But like I said, there's more options on a big slate. You need an outlier performance. You don't need to guess. You don't need to get every goal right on a 7 or 8 or 10 game slate. Whereas on a 2 game slate, when a goal scores, that changes the entirety of the slate. If a guy who's 50% owned, if Bergeron scores and you don't have him, you're pretty much buried. But same thing goes. Bergeron can easily have a bad game. It's hockey. Or even if he only scores 4 DK points, you're going to be in a good spot if you load up on St. Louis 1 or Dallas 1. Yes, Andrew, Fantasy Cruncher is not up right now. So, yep, I just actually tried to refresh mine on screen. Or not on screen, I was on my other monitor. But yeah. Unless it's a fourth liner at 3%. Right. I mean, but if you have that fourth liner, if you play smart fourth line plays, like I think the Corrali line was a okay play. Like that's a viable fourth line because they do get, teen minutes. They get 13, 14 minutes some games. They play in the shutdown role some games. When you're doing that, you're getting a lot more time than your average fourth line who plays 9 minutes. So, and they're just a good line when they're going up against opposing third and fourths. So, yeah, that would be my favorite fourth line. Yeah, Andrew, I wouldn't worry about that. I think Fantasy Cruncher, whenever they have something go down, they're on top of it right away. So don't worry. They'll get it figured out before lock. They always do. Always, always, always. I've never had a time where they have let me down. So don't worry. We got a couple hours. I'm sure this will get figured out in the next hour. You'll have plenty of time to finish up your crunches. So, to reiterate, even though I like Hintz, I like Zuccarello, and I like actually Dickinson as a trio, I definitely give the edge to the St. Louis side. Same thing with the O'Reilly line. I don't know if that's going to be a hot take. I think these two lines see pretty similar ownership. Maybe St. Louis won a little bit more. This line I really want to get over the field on. I don't think I'm going to have a tough time doing that, honestly. I can't play Corrali over Coyle as a single lineup guy. Yeah, I think Corrali's more of a he's a guy you put in, in any fourth line guy, and that's the good part about making 100 lineups or whatever, or even like 20 lineups. You can play that guy 5 or 10%, still have a big edge on the field, and not be overexposing yourself, not relying on a fourth liner. Who are your good value one-offs, Jake? I wish I had my crunch in front of me, but I know the guys that I am getting, just as far as values, Coyle is one of them. Corrali is one of them. Other guys I like are Robert Thomas at 2,500. You see Osmo has him as an A value. He makes it pretty easy to fit in St. Louis 1 or Dallas 1 or Boston 1. Schwartz, I absolutely love at 4,700. The last guy, I think Faxa usually grades out as a good value for me. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I don't think he is that good of a player, but I'll never play anyone against Dallas, LOL. Are you like a Stars fan or something? You got to put your fandom to the side if that's the case. Dallas can be beat. It just takes one bad game or a couple bad plays by Bishop. Oh, man. I mean, then you can't play 2-game slate if your favorite team's on it. I don't know. You never play players against Dallas. Well, for me, I play players against my team all the time, the Blackhawks. In fact, every time they play, I am playing a lot of players against them. I don't know. I mean, if DFS is just for fun for you, then that's fine. Just stack up the stars every night, but being unbiased wins money. Yep, I agree. Let the numbers do the talking, and make some calculated risks here and then. I'm a Bruins fan, and I have a lot of Columbus guys tonight. Yeah. I don't know. I want to win money, so there's always a price and an ownership for everyone that I'll play them against anyone. Even, we've played lines against Boston 1 this year and won money. We played lines in going into Vegas, which is a spot I hate, but I remember I had a big night with Florida going into Vegas, Florida's top line, because the numbers were saying they were underpriced. So it doesn't always work out. I used to have that problem. Never play players versus Montreal Canadiens, but I changed that. Yeah. I don't know. You just got to be open to it. You don't have to play. There shouldn't, there's always an ownership or a price where almost everyone should be in play, I think. Letdown spot for Columbus, Boston all the way. Really? I don't know about the letdown spot, but I think Boston is a really, really, really good team. But Columbus just beat a really, really, really good team. So who knows, man? So I don't know, I've been saying it every night. I'm just excited to watch these games. Hopefully at the end of these games, or, after the first game, I've got some lineups in play. Can make any late swaps. If there's line change news, I will let you guys know in Slack. I will alert the channel, which is another good feature of Premium Slack. If you're not in Premium Slack, get in. We've got even weekly memberships, but I would suggest the monthly. Promo code Hit the Ice gets you 50% off your first month of Osmo.com Premium. Just use the code below me, I believe it is. Hit the Ice is the code, and 50% off, pretty good deal. What else do we got going on? I am on the MLB Strategy Show tomorrow morning with Josh, filling in for Ship My Money. So that's pretty cool. Check us out tomorrow, just like last year, just like the old days, the early days of Osmo.com. Josh and I together in the mornings talking about various subjects. We'll sneak in some MLB DFS in there. Best D play. I like Klingberg a lot. I like Hiskinen a lot. I think it's like they're my top three. I think are Pietrangelo, Klingberg, and Krug, and they're all separated by I think like 3%. So any of those guys are fine. So far, when I see Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak at 40% ownership, they have let me down every time. Well, every time? I don't know. I mean, you need the raw points, right? So maybe if you play Boston 1, or Pastrnak, just try to get different with your Boston 1. I mean, I'll have the cookie cutter Boston 1. I'll have this. And I'll probably have one or two variations of this. But, like, this lineup right here is going to be duped. And when you run 3-2-1, you're not going to be duped as often. So that's half the battle, I think, on these 3 gamers. Like, I had 3 or 4 lineups in the top 20 or 30 that were lineups by myself. You don't want to compete against your own lineup, meaning other people have the exact same one. So if you're duped one time and you split the top prize, that's pretty good. If you're duped 4 or 5 times, now all of a sudden you really need to get first place to make that worth it. And there's going to be lineups that are duped literally 10, 12 times, which is what you don't want to do, in my opinion, on any slate, but it's way easier to get duped on a 2-gamer. So, start with your lineup like this. Maybe you want to play around with it from here and go, all right, well, maybe I don't want Sundqvist. Let's take him out, and let's do a one-off, Radulov. Okay, Radulov's on the second PP. Now you've got Hiskin in here. Okay, Boston. You've got Boston, St. Louis. There you go. Although $100 cheaper. Instead of Hiskinen, you could go Lindell, and there you have it. So now you've got a 3-man. You got a 3-man Boston, full Boston 1 with Heinen, Schenn, Schwartz, done. Power play correlation done to Schwartz. Second power play correlation here. Radulov to Lindell on the second power play. This lineup much less likely to be duped. Maybe it is, but that's an example of just a lineup that's different. And if you want to get really different, you could play correlated lineups. Like, let's say you like Schwartz. Like, you like St. Louis 2, but you also like Columbus 1. Okay, you've got 7,200 on average. Even if you take the top 2 or 3, or 2 highest priced defensemen, you're still going to leave 10K on the table. A lot of people won't do this, but I think you should have lineups that look like this. Maybe you want to take Krug out for Klingberg or something like that, but you get the point. The PP1 Shark line, yeah, power play stack it. There's a ton of ways to get different. I'm just how I've been having success is doing the 3-2-1, but also doing the normal lineups, doing the 3-3s, having a couple different variations of 2 lines that I really like. So if you really like St. Louis 1 and Boston 2, make 2 or 3 of those combos out of your 100 lineups or 50 lineups, and just get different defensemen in there. Because if you're right on that, if that is the nut combo, you have 2 or 3 different combos of the defenseman. You're putting yourself in a good spot. So. Yes. I went to bed breaking even and woke up the next day winning $350 total on $30. That's a over 10x ROI. That's pretty good. I would take that every day. What do you think of David Savard and Seth Jones tonight I'm assuming that's a single entry, not DE. I really like Seth Jones a lot, and I'm fine with Savard. I mean, he's a guy who's probably going to play 20 minutes, and yeah, it's he's going to play 20 minutes. He does block shots. He does go through these stretches where he's attempting 5 and 6 shots per game, which is huge. He's also at a price point that's not going to get people to be crazy about playing him, so he's probably going to be a under 10%, I think, pretty easily under 10% defenseman. Asimo is pure greatness. I would have to agree with that. Jake on the Arizona call. Are you talking about Arizona bats, Mr. Mac and Cheese? If you're talking about Arizona bats, yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I was on them. Yeah, I think that was the first stack that came out of my mouth when Josh said that. So I actually did win a bunch of money in baseball yesterday, which I was pumped about. Who, Jake? What do you? I'm not sure what you mean, Tyler. I'm not sure. NFL draft thoughts quickly. I don't have any. I don't care about the draft at all. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone. Literally do not care about this at all. The defenseman I was talking about, Savard. I was talking about Savard. I think he's a fine play at 4,100. Yeah, literally do not care about the draft at all. I play daily fantasy sports. I care about daily fantasy sports. I care about what's happening tonight. I do not care about a third-round O-lineman that I've never heard of from a school I've never heard of. That's never going to help me win any money in DFS. No, I don't think Savard's that overpriced. I mean, maybe a little bit, but you can play overpriced guys. Overpriced just means they're going to be low-owned, and I don't think that's even that bad of a price for Savard. How did you build your bankroll? Grinding low stakes NHL. Taking a couple shots in the big boy tournaments and winning a couple tournaments or getting close to it and being smart. Contest selection is a huge deal. Read the contest selection primer on the osmo.com website. I would do that if you're looking to build a bankroll. But I also wasn't playing correctly. Low stakes MME. Yeah, I think playing the 20 max. So, like, if I had I don't know what your bankroll is, but if I had $100, $100 or $200 bankroll tonight on DK, the first couple tournaments I would look to play would be right here, quarter jukebox. Play the quarter jukebox. So get in this right now if you haven't. It is a 20 max. Play 20 in this. I know the high prize, or the top prize isn't fancy, $125, but if you can win this a couple times, or get a couple in the top 10, you can slowly start to build your bankroll. And then once you start building your bankroll a little bit, you keep entering the 25-cent tournament, but you're gonna go to the $1 as well. Maybe put 10 or 20 in there, 20 max. I mean, you try to max out everything you can play, but if you're not comfortable, you don't have to max everything. Then once you're comfortable with that, you built it up. Let's say you're at $1,000 now. You enter all that, and you try to think this. You don't have to enter 20 in this. I mean, I would suggest you do. If you're entering any tournament, you try to max it, but it doesn't always make sense. And you can still play it, and you can still win it with less entries, but just make sure you're diversifying. I would suggest getting Fantasy Cruncher or an optimizer. I would suggest getting Fantasy Cruncher. I think it's not. I don't think it is the best optimizer, and I would say that even if we weren't, even if we didn't have partnerships with them, it's what I use. I mean, I won't use any other optimizer than Fantasy Cruncher. So build your 20. This is a question we get a lot in like the support emails and stuff, and just people asking me, would you play the same lineups in both of these tournaments? So if you enter 20 into here plus 20 into here, that's 40 lineups possibly. Would you play the same 20? I would not starting out. So play 40 lineups, differentiate even more. I like single entries, but I'll throw in a few GPPs as well just to see how lucky or unlucky I am. Yeah, I have no problem. Like tonight, if you're playing all the low dollar single entries, if you're playing, well, I guess that's a double up. But if you're playing like, where's it at? Isn't there like a $5 single entry? Yeah, okay, so if you're playing this, and I would put one, if you're playing the $5 single entry and the $3 3 max and you're single bulleting, I would still put it in this tournament and this tournament and this tournament. Yeah, I have no issue with that. You're just playing one single bullet. I did that for a long time. It wasn't good for my mental health, even though I was very profitable doing that. I had a better ROI than I do now. I also got really lucky, I think, at times. So you just got to be okay with losing everything on a night. Whereas the way I'm playing right now, yeah, I might be, I have 100 entries in this, $1,000 in play, but in reality, using an optimizer and having set exposures, or at least knowing my exposures going in, I know I'm not going to lose $1,000 out of that. Worst case scenario, I lose 600 or 700. So it's if you're diversifying correctly, limit the nights you're really bad, and honestly, most nights, especially on a 2-gamer like tonight, I'll probably at worst get back 60%, which is fine. Thanks for the info today, sir. Hopefully I see you at the top. Good luck, fellas. Yeah, good luck to you. Best Columbus one-off tonight. This is where I wish I had my crunch up, but Fantasy Cruncher's getting fixed. Best one-off, I think it would be Panarin. I think it would be Atkinson. I had my mouse on Atkinson. I was looking at Panarin, but I do think it would be Atkinson. Okay. Do I play cash? I do not play cash. No, I don't. I play GPPs. All right. If anybody's got anything else in chat, feel free. Got any questions about anything, I would love to help you out. If not, I will be on my way. Let's see. Is FC reloaded? It is not reloaded. Hopefully that gets fixed very soon so I can build my crunches. And I don't even know. I don't have an MLB show tonight. Right now in a lineup that I like on DK, I have Radulov and Sagan and Marchand on DK. But I want Jamie Benn. Do I need him? No, you don't need him. So you're saying you have this? I mean, is it a cash lineup? Who would be your best two-man stack out of Dallas? Actually, I think my favorite two-man would be Sagan Radulov. I mean, I have Radulov graded out really high, always. He creates so many quality chances. So many, especially when he's on Sagan's line. He just grades out phenomenally, almost always. No turning lineup? Yeah, I don't think. Oh, wait, so you had Radulov. Right. Okay. And then Marchand. No, I don't think you need Ben. If you do put in Ben, you're really handcuffed at that point. So you're going to need a really cheap two-man here. I don't have a problem with the Marchand one. I mean, you could probably make a decent lineup like this. If you want to go like Coyle, Johansson. Yeah, I mean, there you've got some correlation between Johansson and Marchand on the PP. You could somehow fit in Krug or, I don't know, whatever you want to do there. Klingberg. I like always having at least one 3-man stack, even on a 2-game slate. So I like always having at least one full stack of an even strength line like this, and then go from there. But you can also do 2 3-mans, work backwards from there. Does anyone know Texier is on PP2? I can check for that. I can check what they did in their last game, I should say. I know Natural Stat Trick was moving really slow this morning. It usually doesn't move too well when I'm on stream either. So let's see. Yeah, it's really slow, actually. I don't even know if that's up right now. Well, if he's listed on Daily Faceoff there, go with that until you hear otherwise. But I always like to double check on that kind of stuff, because sometimes they do guess, which is fine. I mean, they have to put something in there, but Beat Writers is your best chance. Let's see if we can find Blue Jackets power play. Yeah, I don't see anything. I would guess they go with whatever they had the last couple of games. All right, people, thanks for watching again. Feel free to give me a like on the way out. It does really help me. It helps us. Go like all of our shows, comment, do whatever you want, somehow interact. It really does help us out, so I appreciate you guys continuing to do that. Tomorrow, I think we have let's see, it's got to be another 2-gamer, right? The other 2 games start tomorrow. Let's see. Yep. Ooh, spread out games. Hurricanes, Islanders at 7 Eastern. Avs, Sharks, 10 Eastern. That's pretty fun for a Friday. Got the MLB strategy show tomorrow with Josh, like I said, and then I'm firing up the Saturday one as well with EMAC in the morning. So you'll be seeing a lot of me on MLB and NHL. We'll do a show tomorrow for NHL. We will try to sneak one in on Saturday as well. Hopefully I can make that happen. 3 Eastern is the first game. Yeah, I could probably make that happen depending on how late the show goes with EMAC. But yeah, dudes, I will see you guys then. Yep, looks like FC is back up, so that's where I'll be for the next hour or so, and then it's time to kick back and watch these games and not watch the draft. Good luck tonight, guys. See you tomorrow.